Hello everybody to another episode of In the Driver's Seat with Dubizzle. In this episode, we talk about what would you buy for insane amounts. For example, would you buy a Ford Mustang for 1.1 million dirhams? Also, would you buy a fully electrified Lamborghini SUV? What else, Chris?
Would you buy a four-seater AMG GT that doesn't have four doors?
For this and more, watch in this episode. So first we're going to start with the insanely priced Ford Mustang. Yeah, it's a Ford Mustang for 1.1 million dirhams, Chris. This is an insane amount.
It is, and before we go any further, this is the Ford Mustang GTD.
Yes.
I originally thought this was a GT3 race car because if you look at it, it looks like that.
It does a little bit, yeah.
Incredibly wide.
True.
It's like as wide as a truck. It is insanely aggressive, and the price is insane.
Insanely aggressive.
1.1 million dirhams. We're kind of estimating here it's $300,000 US.
Yes.
Obviously, this is going to be a limited production run. And believe me, when it comes here, or better yet, believe us, I think we can both agree on this. When it comes here, it's not going to be priced at 1.1.
No.
It's going to be far more than that. It's going to be close to 1.5 million.
Easy. Yeah, and you know what? I like actually that the car has an Akrapovic exhaust. So obviously they made some tunes on the car. It's 800 horsepower. I think this is it the fastest Mustang ever?
I would
assume
assume
the
so.
fastest
Yeah,
production car.
5.2 liter. Is it supercharged?
Supercharged V8.
Which is just insane when you think about it. All of these companies are going for smaller and smaller engines. I mean, Ford even have the EcoBoost Mustang with the four-cylinder. Hey, crank out 800 from that, right? Mercedes managed to do it. Why can't Ford try? Well, they thought of it.
I'm actually glad they didn't.
Yeah, I am too, actually, because remember in the last episode we discussed that.
Yeah,
Mercedes
everybody's going to
V8s.
Ford. Yeah.
So they've retained that V8. So there's no ridiculously powerful EcoBoost Mustang.
Correct.
But I don't think it would match it because how would you get that essence, that sound from that kind of car?
Akrapovic exhaust.
Do you think that would work on a four-cylinder?
On a four-cylinder, I don't know.
I think it would, but it'd be very different, wouldn't it?
It would be very different, yeah.
But the real
especially
question,
with the Mustang, like because everyone who wants a super Mustang, they want a V8, right?
Yeah, but the question that you asked at the beginning is, would you buy one?
No.
I thought about it, and the reason I would say yes is because it's a GT3 car. Well, it looks like one. I'm a sucker for these kind of things, right? I don't have the money to afford it, so I'll just put it on my wallpaper at work or a poster in my bedroom or something.
But you in that range of money, you can buy so much many more cars. You can buy a Lamborghini Huracan. You can buy a McLaren. Even though they're a little bit less horsepower, but I'm not definitely, a little bit sure that they're going to perform better.
True, but I can also say
car.
that I've got like one of 500 Mustangs. I've got an extremely rare piece. And when I take it to Cars and Coffee, I can have a great time leaving.
Well, it's valid. To be honest, it's valid. It's a nice idea, but...
So you're going with no?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to pay 1.1 million dirhams for a Mustang, man. If I'm going to pay 1.1 million dirhams for a Mustang, I'd go for a 1969 Shelby Cobra GT500.
Okay, well, that's very specific.
Yeah.
What was the other one that was... there was another Mustang that was pretty expensive, though, for some time, wasn't there? Was it the Eleanor, the one from Gone in 60 Seconds?
Yeah, the Shelby, yeah.
There's a fun story behind that, but we haven't got enough time for me to go into
This is the one I was talking about, by the way.
Is it?
Shelby Mustang GT500, yeah.
I've got a fun story about that to tell you later. We'll have to... Maybe in another episode we can talk about that, but I don't want to bore you guys too much with that. Let's move on now to another car that's going to cost probably an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
It's also fully electric, and it's going to be the first of its kind from Lamborghini. They are officially now going to look at making, or will make, a fully electric Lamborghini Crossover. Not an SUV, a crossover, and it is called...
The Lanzador.
I let him do it because I cannot pronounce it. Lanzador?
Yeah, Lamborghini Lanzador. It's a four-seater crossover type SUV, and they say you'll sit higher in the car, so you'll have a little bit more comfortability, and still you'll have the performance of Lamborghini. Actually, in the advert of the car, it was falling from
space?
From space, yeah.
Is that where the car comes from?
Probably.
Okay. Is it named after a planet or is it named after a...
I have no idea. I've never heard about a planet.
Wait, what planet's called Lanzador?
Lanzador.
Is it like the remake for Pluto or something? Is Pluto Part 2? So this is the new Lamborghini that's coming out. There's not much information known about it. It's obviously going to be fully electric. It's going to be ridiculously powerful. It's going to be over 1,000 brake horsepower.
I think so?
I would assume so. Because everything they're making now is over 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah,
even their hybrids are 1,000 horsepower.
True.
But again, maybe you're right. We're talking about a little crossover here. Do you really need 1,000 horsepower in a crossover?
That'd be very powerful as a crossover.
So the question
Shock
is,
and awe.
would you buy one?
On the fence with buying an electric car, you know, like I don't know if I would buy one. Like especially like I know Dubai is one of the best places because you have so many charging points and malls and everywhere. But still, I don't know the comfortability of it. Like if I want to drive to Abu Dhabi, I don't want to worry about where I want to charge my car, you know, and how much is it gonna take. So I'm not sure, to be honest, if I would buy an electric car. But an electric Lamborghini, man, like for me, a supercar is about the sound. Number one, like if there is no beautiful sound, if I cannot roar that car, it's not much of a point of having it, is it?
Makes sense. What about you? Would you buy one? Let us know in the comment section below. You said that you may not drive the fully electric Lamborghini. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm not going to buy. I'm not interested in it whatsoever.
Okay.
Purely because I just don't have a keen interest in electric cars. I've grown up with petrol. I enjoy petrol.
We're petrol heads, you know. Like
An electric car doesn't smell either.
Yeah.
You know that smell you get? So nice.
The smell of petrol. The
smell of petrol burning is nice. The smell of electricity burning something smells bad. You know, it's like plastic or
That's
something.
true. That's actually very true.
So before we get into the next car of how much would you pay for this, let's talk a little bit about the cars that are trending in the market at the moment. And honestly, the prices are pretty high for some of them.
They are.
So we've crunched the numbers here at Dubizzle, and we found out that there are 5 cars in particular for both petrol or combustion and electric that you've been searching for.
To be honest, what surprised me the most is the petrol ones.
The crowd favorites are there, but with you, there is one in particular that does stand out because it's so expensive for what it is.
Yeah, it is.
Not for what it is. It is definitely worth the money, but it just seems to be like, if you're searching for this kind of car, like, wow.
It is well. It is well.
It is, of course, none other than the Mercedes-Benz S-Class for a cool average price of somewhere close to 650,000 dirhams.
Yeah.
Would you pay that much for an S-Class?
Yeah.
Okay,
I agree. I have to say, yeah. The car is full of luxuries.
Yeah.
You know, one of the latest technologies in the S-Class is that wherever you sit, let's say you're sitting in the back rear left seat, and you talk to Mercedes, hello Mercedes, or close my window, let's say. And it will realize where are you sitting and close exact window that you are sitting. You set the command from.
And that's worth 650,000 dirhams.
That's just an option.
Okay.
That's one of the options that
honestly,
is worth 650,000
the Mercedes
dirhams.
S-Class has some of the most amazing features on the planet.
It does.
Not just that, and they're always one step ahead.
Definitely.
Other cars included in the top 5, of course, the iconic Toyota Land Cruiser, the Nissan Patrol, the Nissan Altima, and, of course, the Mercedes C-Class. Oh, is it the C-Class? Is it?
Yeah.
I always thought it was the E-Class that was more prominent.
I think the E-Class kind of lost its identity because it's a little bit like the C, but it's a little bigger than the C, but it's smaller than the S. So I think that's why the people go either for C or S, mostly.
And of course, in the electric segment, our personal favourites, of course, is no surprise, the Volkswagen ID series took spots 1 and 3.
Yeah.
It was the ID4 that took the top spot.
The top spot, yeah.
It is extremely budget friendly.
Correct.
The ID6 as well offers great value for money. It's a 7-seater as well. And then, of course, the crowd favourites, everyone's favourite, Tesla.
Yes,
they had, the
Model Y,
the Model 3.
Model 3,
and the
Model X. So Model 3 was the second car, Model Y was the fourth, and Model X was the fifth.
Which is no surprise because these are the most popular cars, electric cars on the road. You know, you go out and you see these electric cars 100%. Everywhere. Yeah. I've noticed Polestar's becoming slightly more popular here, but I think it'll take a bit more time.
But you know what? It's weird that Volkswagen with the ID4 and ID6 being that popular and still not allowed. Like for the exports, you know?
It's an interesting take. I think we discussed this before in a previous episode. It's down. I think it's down due to that it doesn't really conform to GCC regulations.
Yeah.
So of course the authority stepped in and said, look, we need to ensure if we're going to sell this car, it needs to conform to GCC regulations. And that is, of course, with the GSO as well. And that's for the entire region. The other car that we wanted to discuss is the new AMG GT, the 2024 model. It now has 4 seats.
Yeah.
Didn't they build a car that has 4 doors and 4 seats for this exact reason? For some reason, they seem to have forgotten about it.
So you wouldn't buy one?
No, because they already have one. It's pointless.
Okay, no, look, I understand their point of view on this one. I understand why they built this car.
Why?
Because I don't want to buy the 4 doors. It's not as good as this one. It's not as good looking as this one. It's much higher weight. It doesn't look like a GT. It's not a sports car. It's not a Gran Turismo.
But you don't have any space. When you sit in the back,
It's the same as
put
my
this
car.
example.
Look, if you're buying a coupe, you don't want space in the back for the 3 people to sit comfortably. Like you want enough for 2 people if you need them to sit, if it's urgent, or to leave some stuff in there, just like I do in my car.
So let's
But
say
the idea is, I still like the car. Like it looks good, and it has 2 extra seats. Why are people against it?
let's say that you, me, and someone else is in the car, okay? And that
Okay.
person really wants to sit in the front, and I have to sit in the back. I'm not going to fit in the back.
Are you gonna fit
I'm
in the
gonna have
front?
to sit. I'm gonna have to sit sideways. I'm gonna have to lie like this, aren't I, inside the car? I understand that it's built.
True.
Obviously,
No.
people that have a lot of money,
Yeah.
they want to put their kids somewhere, right?
Yeah, you
They
want to put
wanna
a
put
baby
it-
seat in the back.
Exactly. But when the
And
child
go
gets
with
older, the child is not going to
577
fit there.
horsepower.
You can't put anything in there. I don't even think I could put my cats back there.
Look, if you squeeze people, you can. Like even in my car, like I put my friend. He suffered from here to Ajman, but he sat there. Like he went out without legs. We had to buy him new legs. But it was like I took him there. Like in a necessity, it's there. I think that's why they put 2 seats in these cars.
So would you buy one?
Yes.
Okay, I would not because they already have one. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
The idea is, would you buy this or the 2-seater?
The 2-seater.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't want the 2 seats whatsoever?
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, fair enough.
To me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, it just makes the car heavier.
Tell us what you think about this in the comments. Would you buy the 4-seater GT or the 4 doors GT, or you're like Chris, you would buy the 2-seater GT?
I mean, it still has, 577 horsepower?
Yeah,
And the V8?
it's definitely beautiful.
Good. Now it's time to move on to Spotted on Dubizzle.
Yes.
We did this beforehand because we don't want to look too much into it. We want to see what we can find.
Yeah.
And I found a car I won't fit into. So, and shout out to the person who sent me this as well. I sent them the link. I said, hey, check this out. It's really cool. And they said, yeah, it's cool, but you're not fitting inside of it. It, of course, is a Renault Clio.
Yes.
An RS Sport, which is so-called one of 2,500 and is number 500. It, of course, is a manual.
Whoa.
It's an extremely hot hatch, and I love the colour on it. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Okay.
And it's only 22,000 dirhams. I don't like the rims on it.
22,000 dirhams?
Yeah.
It's a manual as well, no?
Yeah. It's an older one, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
It's a Euro spec. But I think
Okay.
that's really cool.
That is cool.
So
I
what
was
did
actually
you
thinking
find?
about buying it.
But it's not a rear-wheel drive, so why would you want it? It's front wheel.
Fair enough. Khalas, I changed my mind, guys.
Oh, okay. I see what it is. I see what it is. Okay.
It's just I thought you can do something in this car, modify it, maybe make it 4-wheel drive.
You could, but you make it a lot heavier then.
Yeah.
What did you find?
I actually found, speaking about Mustangs and ridiculously expensive Mustangs for that matter, I found a 1970 Mustang Mach 1 with 333,000 kilometers on it, and
Look at the
car's
colour on
American specs.
The color is beautiful.
The color is nice as
We
well.
don't get colors like this nowadays.
Yeah, we don't. And you know what's my favorite thing? Is that the car is advertised for 165,000 dirhams. For a car that's done 333,000 kilometers. Like, this is impressive how these cars just skyrocketed, I think, after the movie Gone in 60 Seconds, for that matter.
Oh, that's true. And they don't make them like they used to. I think that's the
Yeah.
age
But
old tradition,
they
isn't
they
it?
used to make a lot of variants, and they still do make a lot of variants, obviously.
So that's what we
So-
found on Dubizzle.
Yeah.
And now it's time to test our car knowledge as always. We have upped it
Excited.
from 5 to 6. So we
Okay.
have 3 each this time.
So we have
And you
6
know what?
obnoxious ones.
You started, so I'll let you go first.
All right.
I can guarantee you there's going to be some obscure ones as always.
2013 Yuabian Puma.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't even think anyone that. I
Let's
think
see.
he's the only one who
What
knows
is
that.
this? Okay, I know what this is.
You do?
Yeah.
That's impressive, bro.
This is it's a hideous looking car.
From
if
the
I
name,
remem-
you can find out.
If I remember correctly, the concept was blue, and it was this monstrosity of a vehicle, and it had very interesting design language. I think it was also an amphibious car. They wanted to go from land to sea, and it looked ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. Like, it's pure ridiculousness.
I don't think this qualifies as a car, bro.
No, I think it was a concept. I don't think they ever made it into production.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, on the subject of would I buy one, 100% I would buy one because it's the most
Yeah.
ludicrous looking car on
Look,
the planet.
the idea that it's an amphibian, yeah, it's nice. Like, I would buy an amphibian car.
Okay,
Just take it and
well,
take it.
let's try one. Will it be the same thing twice? It's going to be a 2014 Puma, isn't it?
14.
I got the Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG 6x6. I got your one. This is a six-wheel drive car. It has portal axles at the back. Ludicrous amounts of money. Would you buy one?
It's very impressive, to be honest. Like if I have a ludicrous amount of money, I would buy one because it's the only 6x6 on the road, right? And they made it of the G class, which is the most popular wagon in the world. And then they made a 6x6 of it. Imagine seeing it on the street. I haven't seen one in Dubai actually.
The first,
Like I've seen the G800 times 2, which is the Brabus, which is insane wheels and huge G class, but I've never seen this.
The promo was shot here.
Really?
Yeah, there's even a Dubai number plate on it.
But have you seen
You've
one?
never
Have you seen one on the road? Like,
I've seen one on the road.
Really?
Yes, only
Okay,
one.
I haven't.
There's also a Land Cruiser variant that someone has built, which is very cool.
6x6 Land Cruiser.
Yep. It's the old pickup as
Fine.
well.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks really cool and it's in beige, so the best color ever.
Cool.
And also there is a Range Rover version. No, there's a Defender version.
Defender.
That used to be
I would
parked
say, actually,
in
Defender.
Motor City.
Okay, cool.
It's now gone. I don't know where it went. Okay, what obscure car are you going to get this time?
Porsche 918 Spider. Okay, this is part of the Holy Trinity. It's a hybrid Porsche as well. It's very famous, one of the fastest cars in the world. They were comparing it with the LaFerrari and the... what was the Lamborghini
P1.
done? The P1, yeah, actually, not the Lamborghini, the McLaren P1. It's a very impressive car from Porsche, and I don't think they have made a more powerful production.
Not yet. I think
Not
it's a
yet, right?
successor is on the way.
Yeah.
And they only made 918 of them.
Okay, that's why it's called 918.
Yes.
That's very nice.
Let's see what obscure car I get this time. I got the Lexus LFA, the best sounding V10 ever produced, and
Love
nobody wanted to
producers
buy
for
them.
that. Yeah, that's the weirdest thing, actually. You know?
Because let's put it in perspective, right? You're going for a business meeting, okay, or you're going to meet some friends that have a lot of money lying around. They pull up in their Ferraris, their Lamborghinis, McLarens, you name it, and then you pull up in a Lexus. They're gonna laugh you out the door. That's why.
Yeah,
That's why nobody bought it, which was very sad because this is most iconic Lexus ever built.
It was.
It was, and I know the F16 is great, but the LFA is much better. It also was a loss for Toyota.
Was it?
They lost money on that car, which was a real shame.
I bet if they kept the cars till now, they'd be making money.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there were so many unsold up until recently. There were still new ones rolling off the lot. Like people had stat on them that had 0 kilometers on the clock or dealer mileage essentially. So yeah, if you want to buy one, they're expensive.
I would definitely buy one. I would definitely buy an LFA.
I would
if I find one right now.
Get the Nürburgring edition as well.
Oh, Pope Mobile. Is it? I wanna just go ridiculous and say, is it the car that they take the Pope in it?
Yes.
No? Okay, so I guess I don't know anything. I just know the car. I've seen the Pope in it.
You wouldn't believe how many variants of that thing exist.
Is there?
There are Jeep versions, Fiat obviously.
I've seen the Jeep. Yeah.
There's a lot of Italian versions. I think every year it kind of changes, and a lot of manufacturers obviously they want to have their share, so they kind of pitch the idea. And there's some.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there are unused versions. There are some that you never saw. Or never saw the light of day even. Like, it's really cool. Can you imagine that? You're riding on like a Jeep with this like massive glass shield on top of you. Very cool. Now, I got the last one here because we upped it up to 6.
Yes.
And I got the Huracan Stirato.
Oh.
Yes. This is, I would say it's the equivalent of the 911 Dakar, right? This is the Huracan that Lamborghini built to go off-road.
Yes.
A lot of people will buy it and not go off-roading with it, but some people are crazy enough to actually do what the car is meant to do and go off-road with it. Would you do it if you had a Huracan Stirato? So yeah, if you had one, would you take it off-roading?
Hell yeah.
I would too.
Man. Like if I have that enough money to buy a off-road Lamborghini,
you've got enough money to fix it.
Yeah, right. And it's how fun would it be? Like imagine all the patrols and Toyota FJ Cruisers going on there and Land Cruisers and whatever, and you're like exactly between all of them.
Imagine going up a dune on that thing as well. Oh, it must be ridiculous.
Yeah. Right?
Man, how much air would you get? It'd be like Grand Theft Auto.
I think there's a very good chance to die in that.
Or like Burnout Paradise. 100%.
Thank you very much for watching this episode of In the Driver's Seat with Dubizzle. Let us know in the comments below what are the cars that you would like us to talk about. Thank you very long.
No Volvos this time.